Hello, everyone. Happy to see you today. Happy to be here as well. The blockchain-based technology has actually already proven its ability to disrupt business areas within the game industry. But we know that NFTs are also at the center of a serious debate regarding climate change and the environment. But we also know that the industry is really proactive in innovating and leveraging blockchain technology in order to reduce the world's carbon footprint. So we know what's happening. The Ethereum merge was actually one of the biggest shifts, transition towards a more sustainable ecosystem infrastructure. But we also know that we're seeing projects building solutions to actually offset carbon footprint with NFTs and helping organization. So we're going to talk about this today with our speakers, but also we're going to talk about how how gaming could actually promote sustainability, and we're going to talk about, gaming helping gamers to really care about the environment. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm Flavien Defraire from the Blockchain Game Alliance, which is a non-profit organization committed to promoting blockchain within the gaming industry. We gather 500 companies in the BGA right now, including Atomic Hub, the Sandbox, and among others as well. And our purpose is actually to educate people, educate the gaming industry about what's happening in the blockchain ecosystem. So very happy to welcome our speakers. Guys, obviously I will ask you to give some context about who you are, and I would like to ask Tom to introduce yourself at first.
Sure, thank you. My name is Tom Herman. I'm one of the co-founders of Metacarbon. And Metacarbon is a company that helps embed climate action into any kind of digital environment. So gaming is one of our focuses. What we found is that it's really hard to get people to change behaviors. It's really hard to get people to invest in climate action. And one of the ways that you can do it is with nudges and microtransactions. So we make it possible for gamers, for example, to invest as little as 2.5 cents in climate action, in saving trees, planting trees, and other kinds of decarbonization activities. And that fits really well into the economic structures of incentives in games. And we do it at point of sale. We can do it within the actual economics of the game. But the idea is to educate and get people moving slowly towards caring about the environment enough to actually do something, even if the doing something is literally just investing 2.5 cents.
Perfect. And obviously, we're going to talk about, dive into all the projects that you just mentioned. And before that, Martin, could you introduce yourself as well?
Sure thing. Hi, everyone. Martin Harder. I'm working with Atomic Hub. You might have seen us coming in over there. Thank you all for having made it after 3 days at this conference. So I'm leading the business development at Atomic Hub. We're a marketplace based in Europe, and we're #1 on Wax and EOS blockchains. You see the pattern. We're focused on entertainment content, so games, collectibles. We just partnered with Immutable X, and we'll also go live there soon. Serving over 2 million wallets, great content, a lot of fun stuff. Come over there and talk to us. Yes, today we're talking about positive climate action, and very excited to be up here with Tom. We actually met last year at NFT.NYC and partnered there.
So this is a good story actually to tell, and we're going to dive into your activity and the collaboration you did together. But before that, we're going to cover more generic things, which is focusing on gaming. I will start with you, Martin. When we talk about gaming, I think we're talking about one, if not the most engaged toolkits that you could be aware of. And actually, how do you think gaming can actually engage people on this topic of sustainability?
Yeah, before diving into how it can engage on the topic, I want to just set the stage on why it is relevant in general to do that. So sustainability, everyone knows it's a big topic, but why is it relevant to Web3? For one, there's a lot of misconceptions in the industry, but also in politics, and what exactly the impact is on the sustainability part. So there's misconceptions, and they can lead to wrong regulation, which will affect all of us. So we need to do a better job on educating everyone. That's one. Another one is limiting user adoption. Yeah, thinking about the young, environmentally aware generation, this is a very important topic. And there's the narrative out there that NFTs, crypto, blockchain are bad for the environment, killing trees. And that's not differentiative at all. So it is limiting user adoption in that sense. So we need to address it out of the gate. And the last one, it's an image problem too. I've seen drop announcements of mainstream brands, and the first thing that happened in socials was a lot of negative sentiment because they just don't understand NFTs and what it does to the environment or not does to the environment. So how can blockchain gaming engage on this topic? As you said, it's the most utilized toolkit. And what we can do with gaming or generally with marketplaces and protocols, we can, like you said, nudging, we can build like we have small incentive, small instruments, for example, at point of sale or as part of the gameplay that just raise awareness on this topic and rewrite the narrative that is out there right now and affecting all of us. Yeah.
Perfect. Tom, kind of the same question for you, but focusing on player engagement. When we talk about player engagement, we can obviously talk about immersive connection, social interaction, a lot of things that we could mention when a game developer tried to bring engagement to the games. So how do you think we should use the engagement of players when we want to promote sustainability?
Well, one of the things that we look at with brands and sustainability is that a brand that can identify itself as sustainable and caring about the environment gets brand lift. And they can sell more product and they can sell it at a better price because they're showing an authentic care for something that their audience cares for. The gaming audience is very young. It also skews male, but it skews very young. And so this generation of gamers really care about the environment because they're going to want to live here for a lot longer than some of the older people like myself. And I think that's important. The other thing that's important from an engagement perspective is education. So making it fun to learn about the environment. What is our impact on the environment? What can we do? And when you do it in a way that allows you to collect or get up a leaderboard, or even more important would be opportunities, for example, to upgrade the tires on your racing car, or upgrade the armor on your on whatever it is that you're wearing, and doing that based on how much carbon you have offset or how much carbon you've collected. It really fits into that environment. And when people look at it and they say, one of the first things that attracted me to this space was I was riding in the back of a taxi. It was in Asia, so it was a Grab taxi, and they offered me a game to collect Chinese zodiacs. You collect the zodiacs and you get a milkshake or a discount on your next ride. And I thought, well, here I am in this car emitting carbon. Why not do it with a game that focuses on the environment and the carbon? So I pitched that same taxi company the idea of SDG Bingo. And while on Atomic Hub, a lot of the games are much more first-person shooter type concepts, there's a lot of casual gaming as well. Gaming that's around farming, gaming that's around building communities and so forth. And it can fit right into that in a really nice way. Our NFTs are animals and trees and things like that. So it can be fun. It can bring a different kind of audience. It can bring a more gender-neutral audience. If you've got a lot of men within your community, then adding this perspective can attract more female audience.
So you think that education with gaming could be the trigger to actually change the behaviors of people around this ecosystem, around this topic of sustainability? Do you think it's a big part of it?
I do. I think we've got to do it in small nudges. I think we've got to get people to consider, and if we're talking about kids, I'm struggling all the time to get my kids to turn off the lights when they leave their room, right? So we know that if you gamify these kinds of activities, if you put badges on their phones, all of these kinds of things are, from a behavioral economics perspective, they actually affect change in behavior. So to the degree that you can embed that in something that your kids like doing, then it's a great way to change behaviors and earn for doing it.
Yeah, just adding to it. So it has to be fun. It has to be easy. And
Yes.
educational, and it has to be gamified. Yeah, so things that you like to do in your everyday life, or the games you like to play, if it's part of that, it will be rewriting the narrative and doing something good.
I want so bad to talk about this exactly thing because you actually do that gamification into Atomic Hub. We're going to wait a little bit because it's going to be the second part of the conversation. But before that, when we talk about blockchain, we obviously talk about bringing new ways to incentivize actions. Martin, could blockchain bring enough incentivization to educate players, do you think, about the role they could play in the protection of the environment?
If it could bring enough? Yeah, definitely. So it's an emerging technology that's established now. And as Dom already pointed out, there is a lot of young users that care about the environment. And we all know that. So blockchain, by nature, is a state ledger, a state machine. Yeah? So we can give a lot of transparency on a topic that many people care about. Yeah, so when it comes to carbon offsets, for example, it can definitely improve the game and bring a lot of transparency on that. And that's something that Metacarbon is also doing. And on the gaming side, on the entertainment side, we can utilize that and build games that show that. That's something we have done on Atomic Hub too. Can talk about that in a second.
So let's talk.
Can I just jump in there a little bit? There's a few things about the blockchain industry. First of all, it's super fast. It grew so quickly, but I have never seen an industry take on a topic like climate change so aggressively and so quickly. There was all this unwarranted backlash against blockchain for its carbon footprint, but the industry jumped right in, and now pretty much every major layer 1 blockchain is carbon neutral. They've all bought carbon offsets. They've all looked at their carbon footprint, their electricity usage. It's amazing, and it's really important. However, it's not enough. We need to take the next step and be climate positive. We need to take the next step and teach our audience, engage our audiences in the gaming space, in the blockchain space, on what they can do beyond just playing games to reduce our carbon footprint as a community. And it's not just in the gaming, it's everywhere. But again, these are people that have become attracted to this space because of the opportunity to create wealth, or the opportunity to invest, or the opportunity to do new things. And we need to find models to engage these people into interest in that topic. We can. It's such a powerful community.
So actually, what model did you create with Atomic Hub, Tom? What is your collaboration? Could you tell us more about what you did together?
Sure. Well, first of all, let me make a great shout out to NFT.NYC, because this is a great environment to make business relationships. And I met Martin here maybe 2 years ago, but we very quickly got a partnership together where we're selling carbon at point of sale. So when you buy an NFT on the Atomic Hub platform, you have an option to buy several wax worth of carbon. And then at the end of every month, we give out prizes to the traders and customers who have offset the most carbon. And the prizes are mostly cool NFTs around endangered animals and things like that. But that's really just stage 1. And stage 2 is embedding climate action into the minting tools. And that's really why I'm here. I want to make sure that minting tools on every chain give climate action one of the options right there. What picture am I going to upload? What's the royalty that I'm going to get? how much carbon is going to be embedded. We make it so easy to do that. We make it easy from an integration perspective, and we make it easy from a consumer adoption perspective. So I'm looking forward to getting into the Atomic Hub creator tools. Atomic Hub is doing great drops now, primary drops, and we want to help all those folks really increase their brand activation, increase their climate credibility by embedding in every NFT a tiny bit of carbon.
Perfect segue. How easy it is to actually offset carbon footprints on Atomic Hub. Could you explain us the process in terms of user experience?
Yes, sure. It's actually very, very simple. And we're the first ones who have done this together with Metacarbon. We all know, like, buying a flight ticket.
I think you're the first ones to have done it, period. I don't know of another trading exchange for NFTs other than Atomic Hub, which rocks, that has done this. You guys have made the commitment. It's awesome. Nobody else has.
Yeah, yeah, we came together and wanted to rewrite the narrative. We wanted to address this and lead by example. Yeah, and we're seeing that this topic picks up. We're seeing games addressing it, marketplaces addressing it. We were the first. Protocols, like you said, all L1s are carbon neutral, or companies carbon neutral. So how does it work on Atomic Hub? It's very, very, very simple. You buy an asset, you pick your payment method, pay with credit card, pay with wax, whatever. And the next step, you just select how much kilogram you want, and it adds another line item, and you complete the purchase. This is step one, very, very clear. What happens then is that this carbon purchase amount is added to your social profile on Atomic Hub. Think of Facebook profile pages. Yeah, so it's another information about your social identity on the platform. And I've seen people talking on Twitter about who has more carbon offsets. And we introduced a leaderboard where you can see yourself in context of all the other users or your friends on the platform. So this is part two. It enhances your social identity. And the third part of it is that every month you can come to our atomichub.io/green site and choose which project you want to support with your carbon purchases. Yeah, so there are selected projects worldwide, and you can just select where you want to put it. So we drive engagement by participation. Yeah, so you can actually have a say in what exactly happens with that. And as a recognition, you get a merge NFT from Metacarbon every month. So we have seen that it's closing the loop, yeah, and people love it. So far, we launched it a few months ago. It has been growing organically. I think the last time I checked, it was like 2,000, close to 2,500 people utilizing this feature. 12,000 carbon purchases so far, and over 250,000 kilograms. And this is just picking up. So there's a lot we can do. It seems like a very easy idea, and that's how the best ideas are in retrospective, easy and obvious. But yeah, that's how it works.
One more thing to add. When you go to buy laundry detergent, are you attracted to the laundry detergent that has the little green leaf on it? The answer is yes, because people put it on there and then they get brand lift. And if you're looking at two products that are almost the same price, and frankly, sometimes if you look at a product where one has the environmental stamp of approval and the other doesn't, you'll pay more for it. So when do we get to the point where every single booth here out at NFT.NYC has a little green leaf on it that says, we're environmentally responsible. You should patronize our product. You should buy your Immutable X NFTs on Atomic Hub because Atomic Hub is green. That leaf on your booth, on your products, on your NFTs will bring you more customers, and it will bring you higher prices.
I really like how you gamify the experience of purchasing an NFTs and make it fun for a good cause. So we all talk about education. It seems to be a very good aspect of it. So, but it's an aspect as with the user's perspective. But as a company, let's say collection, but every collection you have a company behind. But do you think the companies who are actually a part of it are really interesting in these kind of things as well in their communication? How easy they can be a part of this offsetting carbon program? Did you have any feedback from that as well? Because on Atomic Hub, the profile of every collection, you could see what's happening in terms of offsetting carbon footprint as well.
Yes, that's the point I didn't touch on. So I mentioned that every user has that information on their profile, yeah? But there's also the other side to it, that every collection, and we got 2,500 of them, they also have a balance on their profile page, yeah? So the moment I go ahead and buy a first-person shooter game asset, I buy it, but I also buy the asset of a collection. So what we're doing is we're counting those purchases against the collection as well. And that
Community action.
Yes, exactly. So collections love it, and there's a lot more we can do. We've just started. Yeah, so we can think of marketing initiatives or campaigns where a collection can double all carbon offsets in a certain period of time that are made against their collection. So there's a lot we can do. So we have just started.
Oh, that's cool. Actually, that's a question I want to ask Tom as well. Do you think that it's only the beginning of what you could do and maybe what you should do, capitalizing on the technology of NFTs? Do you see any other activities on your side with Atomic Hub or any other partners?
Yeah, absolutely. Brands understand gamification. Brands are all exploring how their communities and their loyalty programs can grow using NFTs. And they can also put that green leaf on their NFT collections. They can engage that audience. And when you're outside of gaming and first-person shooters, then again, you have a more gender-balanced audience, and it makes a big difference. So we're looking to help brands gamify climate action so that they can have brand lift and do brand activations. And we'd love, I know Atomic Hub is focused on gaming, but brands that are not in the gaming space can also do it. If you're Starbucks, you can do NFTs backed by carbon offsets from the coffee growing regions of Colombia and Brazil. If you're IKEA, you can do it from carbon offsets from the northern boreal forests where they get their wood pulp. So there's lots of brand engagements that can be authentic, and Web3 is a great technology for making it fun and making it transparent.
That's awesome. As I said, the BGA, the Blockchain Game Alliance, really aims to actually provide education materials around any type of topic related to blockchain gaming. Environment is one of them, obviously. And you can check out our booth, which is not very far from it, when we actually talk about other things related to environment. But that's definitely a topic we try to tackle. And we also have games, because we talk about this experience of purchasing NFTs. But we also have games for actually providing values to the environment through gameplay. And we have one I have in mind, which is My Lovely Planet, which is, they like to be called a play-to-save game. So you actually, the idea is you play the game, and the action you have inside the game has a real impact outside. So you plant a tree inside the game. They are making sure that they are planting trees as well in the real world. So I just wanted to ask you this last question to the two of you. Do you see something happening? What could we do in terms of gameplay when we want to promote sustainability?
Yes, My Lovely Planet, I actually met them at NFT Paris at your Blockchain Gaming Alliance event. Great people, great idea, play to save. And we're seeing games popping up addressing the topic. So My Lovely Planet is one. Another one would be Seeds, starts with Z, ends with Z. And that's just two examples, yeah? But if we look at it in comparison to all the other projects, there are actually not many yet, but we see people talking about it. And what the end of the story is basically, bottom line, there's a huge opportunity, yeah, for business, but for building something awesome that engages people on something they actually are really interested in. So there's a huge opportunity to be active and lead. but we're seeing projects addressing this by putting positive climate action into the gameplay. Another option would be to allow games to back NFT assets with carbon, yeah, making it carbon neutral or carbon negative, and it can be all tracked on the blockchain.
Tom, what do you think?
So again, it's about behavioral change. It's about finding ways to get people to do things. But one really fun way to consider embedding climate action into games, many games have animals. And many of the animals that we love and that we put into games are endangered. You know, lions, tigers, bears, rhinos, gorillas, etc., even apes. So by attaching carbon offsets associated with the environment and the habitat that these animals live in, we can make them more compelling and more valuable as animals, because these animals and these characters in our games are actually helping to support the species which is endangered and its habitat. So that's one way. And then all the behavioral stuff, like if you've got a game and someone's got to go in and out of a room, they can get a credit for turning off the light. That's how you teach your kids to turn off the lights when they leave. All of those kinds of things. It's all micro behaviors that we need to change as a society, and gaming is all about micro behavior. So we can embed climate action into any part of a game, and would love to collaborate with any of the gamers in your alliance or here today that are building cool games to add that to what they've done.
Yeah, please come talk to us. Atomic Hub right over there, Blockchain Game Alliance in the middle. And yeah, happy to talk about it, answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, NFT NYC.
Thanks so much.